Hi, here's Pitlane Pete. Welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to share my long-term experience using the Simlab XP-1 pedals for just over a year. If you are considering a pedal upgrade for your sim rig and want to know whether the Simlab XP-1 pedals are still a solid choice in 2025, this video should help you out. First, I give you some context. When I started out with sim racing, the only pedal set I had was the stock pedals that came with the Logitech G29 steering wheel. Of course, the brake didn't have a load cell or a progressive feel to it, so the pedal set of the G29 really felt more like a toy than real sim racing pedals. When I decided to upgrade to a Fanatec wheelbase, I also got the Clubsport 3 pedals to go along, and I was actually very happy with this pedal set for a long time. Especially on the brake pedal, I noticed a real improvement in my driving. Being able to dial in a firmer pedal helped me to get better with my muscle memory. When I started progressing with this pedal set and got faster lap times in different sims, I started to think, what would be the next step for a higher end pedal set? So around a year ago, I started looking for pedals in the €500 price range. I considered a few options. There were the Heusenfeld Sprints, the VRS Direct Force pedals, and of course also the widely popular Simracingreview P1000 pedals. But in the end, I decided on the Simlab XP-1s, and here's why. Compared to the VRS pedals, I preferred the XP-1's throttle setup, which offers much better resistance adjustability. The two-stage brake system really stood out for me. It uses a spring and elastomer combo that gives the pedal set a unique advantage, which I'll tell you about in a bit. And I like the overall build quality and construction of these pedals. They feel really solid, have no flex or play, and they feel like they will last for years. Out of the box, the XP-1s come with 3 different springs and 3 different elastomers for the brake. The blue anodized knobs on the pedals make it very easy to experiment with different setups, because every blue anodized screw on the pedal indicates an adjustable parameter. After testing quite a bit, I ended up using the hardest spring in combination with the hardest elastomer. For me, the brake travel of the spring gives me enough feel and distance. Once the spring is compressed, the elastomer provides a sort of firm end stop that I use as a tactile reference point. With my setup, I get about 58% brake pressure from only compressing the spring, and then the last 15% comes from controlled pressure on the elastomer. That makes it easier to rely on muscle memory, especially in iRacing, where it's often better to not slam the brakes to 100%, even with ABS. The throttle of the Simlab XP-1 pedals offers plenty of adjustability. 2 different springs are included, and I went again with the stronger one. It adds a bit more resistance, which helps me to modulate the throttle more accurately, especially on corner exits. You can also adjust the pedal travel, the spring tension, and even change the position of the actuator on the pedal arm. I've got the spring actuator arm mounted on the lowest position for the throttle. That gives me the most linear feel. On the brake, I use the highest mounting hole to make the pedal feel more progressive and add resistance earlier in the press. Mounting the pedals was pretty simple. I mounted them directly onto the aluminum profile of my pedal tray using the included bolts and T-nuts. The control box of the pedals is mounted underneath the rig using Velcro. Here's also one minor downside. The control box still uses a micro USB connector instead of a USB-C connector. But to be fair, that's not a big deal if you don't plan to unplug it often. Overall, there was just one time I had a problem with my pedals. All of a sudden, my throttle pedal lost its calibration mid-race and got stuck. I don't know how it occurred, but it really only happened once, so maybe it was also a problem in the racing sim. The XP-1 pedals are configured using Simlab's RaceDirector software. The software is pretty straightforward. You can calibrate the pedals, set dead zones, and adjust the response curve. I tend to keep things simple by using a linear response curve on both of my pedals, but the software also allows a progressive and individual tuning of your pedal curve. You can save different profiles, and I would love to see a feature in the future where the profile automatically switches depending on which sim you will launch. To maintain a noise-free and smooth actuation of the pedals, I spray the moving parts from time to time with white lithium grease. This is also recommended in the manual. To wrap it up, the Simlab XP-1 pedals have held up extremely well They help me to be more consistent in my driving, and they offer a lot of adjustability for the price. As of now, the 2 pedal set only costs €399, and I think it's one of the best values in the passive pedal market right now. You get adjustability, durability, and a proper load cell brake that feels fantastic. So if you're not ready to go all in on active pedals, this pedal set is a really solid middle to high-end option. There are also 3D print mods out there to mount the SimMagic haptic reactors to these pedals. And this might be my next upgrade to my pedal set. Thanks for watching. If you have any question about the Simlab XP-1s or want to know more about my sim setup, just drop a comment below. If this video helped you out, consider subscribing for more sim racing content and reviews. Until next time, see you on track. Bye bye.